Alright guys, what's going on? So I'm back with another video. So on Instagram the other day, I asked you guys to ask me some questions because I was going to be doing a Q&A story time. And this is that Q&A and story time video. So unfortunately, my retarded ass, I forgot that I cannot see stories on Instagram after 24 hours. So I don't have any of the usernames of the people that asked me the questions on Instagram. I apologize about that. Yeah, I apologize. So, first things first, the one question that you guys asked me first was why I started smoking. Now, I've talked, I think, briefly in some of my other videos about me and smoking. One of the things that got me smoking was actually cigarettes. I started smoking cigarettes when I was like 18, 17, 18, below the legal age limit. Now, I'm not going to get into where I got the cigarettes from or whatever. I'm not about to go and expose people. That ain't how I work. But would I recommend smoking anything, whether it be weed or cigarettes or whatever, if you are not of age? Absolutely not. I personally think I know one of my mom's friends' son vapes and he's 15, 16. I'm going to say really quickly, and I'm not trying to parent people here. I'm not trying to be the parent or whatever. My belief is that if I ever caught my kids smoking and they were like that young, I would never be proud if, my kids smoked, even if it was weed. It's not something that I would be like, I would be happy if it was weed over cigarettes or whatever, but it's not something I would really be proud about. You know what I'm saying? Smoking is still smoking at the end of the day, regardless of what it is that you're smoking. Let me light this bad boy. So he's vaping at like 15, 16. I think personally that's way too young to be to be doing anything of that nature at all. And I personally don't see the reason why he needs to be. Typically speaking, if you don't smoke cigarettes and you've never smoked cigarettes, there's no reason you should be vaping. I understand. I know a couple friends that vape, and one of them specifically only vapes because of the fact that he used to smoke cigarettes really, really heavily, and vaping is his kind of way of combating his. Let me roll this window up because I can't. I should have brought my torch. I don't know why I brought the regular clipper. So I feel like that just brought up so much more sun glare. Why? I don't know. I really apologize if you guys don't see me that well. I can't see for the life of me with the glare. But yeah, I don't think that you should be vaping or smoking at all at such a young age. Like, you are just starting high school or just in the, like, you're getting in the rough of life. Like, when you're starting high school, that's really when you should prepare yourself for the reality of life. That's when you start working. At least that's when I started working. I remember I had my first job. I was 16. I'm not gonna say what it is that I was doing, but I was making money. That's all I'm gonna say. And just to clarify, I was not selling drugs or anything. I just want to point that out. I'm not gonna say what I was doing, but I was making money since 15, or 16. Then 17, 18, I started working at, I think, Winners. I was in high school. I started off as co-op and then ended up getting hired on for like a few months after, and then ended up quitting because I just couldn't keep up with like my school at the time. I was going through some other personal problems, and I just couldn't keep up with the work. I felt I was doing poorly in school to the point where if I was going to continue working, it was just inevitably made it worse. So I felt at the time I needed to just stop working, focus primarily on school, and then that's that. But really what got me into smoking was actually cigarettes when I was like 17, 18. I think I've talked about this story in the past when I did my Gorilla Glue 4 review. And I'm trying to remember. Pretty sure that was the video. I apologize about the sniffling. When it comes to me and cigarettes, the way I got caught was actually really, really stupid of me. It's probably one of the most dumbest things that I've done. I honestly, I wasn't. My mom has smoked my whole life. She's never, ever, 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 ever tried to push on to me if you want to try a cigarette and this and that. When I was like 13, 14, I had asked her if I could try a cigarette, and she said no. As I got older, 16, she said no. So one day I was going to school, and maybe we get like this one for like the 10th time. And I was going to school, and I stole one of her cigarette butts, and at the time I lived above a convenience store. I lived above a bar, which was next to a convenience store. I apologize about the sniffling. Again, I have a really bad cold, so not much I can do. Yeah, when it comes to that, I went to the convenience store, grabbed a lighter, and I said, please don't tell my mom. Because I've lived in this area my whole life, pretty much. I left for a few years, moved to Woodbridge, where all of us Italians basically hibernate to or derive from. If you guys are not from Ontario, you guys don't know what the fuck Woodbridge means. But Woodbridge is essentially part of Ontario, part of Vaughan, part of the GTA, that consists of Italians primarily, or at least at one point it did. I'm not sure if it still does. I'm sure it does. If you guys are from Vaughan and you're curious about the part of it of not Italy, the part of Woodbridge where I was at, I was on Woodbridge Avenue in Wallace, specifically. That I used to live in a condo, and I think that was like the peak of like success for my mom at the time that she was working as an accountant. She still does it, like bookkeeping. I apologize if the wind is blowing into the mic, by the way. I just thought about that. And she, unfortunately, some of the clients that she had ended up just retiring, and whatever, didn't have family to move the business onto, so she lost those clients. But okay, I gotta fix that. Hold up. What was I saying? So, I was living at a pretty decent time in my life. God, I can talk to you guys actually about another story, and I'll get back into like the cigarettes. I went through a time of my life, I'm not proud, where it was a really rough spot in my life. I've gone through a lot of like dark times growing up. At 12, I was at one point I attempted to commit suicide, and never really got around to doing it because of the fact that I didn't attempt to. I was planning to attempt it, and never got around to doing it because honestly, I kind of felt like it was just a waste of time. That's literally, I was at that point in my life where I'm not going to talk about why I got to that point in my life. That's a very personal thing, but just talking about suicide is more personal than I would really like to bring up in this kind of situations. But, excuse me, being this is a story time, I'll give you guys a bit of an insight as to me and, outside of like the YouTube realm. So, I was just growing up, yeah, and I grew up in a pretty shitty part of Toronto, Islington and Finch area, which unfortunately is the area where I live in now. I live a couple blocks down from where I grew up, and not happy. I personally am so disappointed in my area because after all these years, it's changed, but not enough that I can say it's gotten better. People do not want to see you do better than them. It's a very selfish community with a lot of the people that have been here for a while. Like a lot of the OGs in this community that I knew growing up have not changed and bettered their life. Some of them have. Some of them are unfortunately in jail. I've had a lot of my friends, unfortunately, when it comes to like people that I know in this area, I've had a few of them pass away. that's probably it's a shitty situation. Now, when it comes to, I guess, me and like the whole smoking situation, honestly, it was just pure curiosity. I apologize if I'm bouncing from like one part of the topic to the other, and I just stop talking about something because I forget. Um, yeah. So when it comes to that, okay, I'm gonna continue smoking this fucking joint because it keeps burning out and it's annoying me. Trying to toast it just a wee bit. But it's getting super smoky in here. My windows are all the way open. But yeah, when it comes to smoking, I was on my way to school the day that I got caught. Stole one of my mom's cigarette butts, went to the convenience store downstairs, grabbed the lighter. I said to the guy, please don't tell my mom, yada, yada, yada. And I'll do another, like a whole separate, like, story time talking about, like, my experience growing up in this area, because that would probably be, I probably should have just talked about that. But anyways, maybe I'll talk about it after this. So, on my way to school, I used to take the bus to get to school, right? And I lived at the time, actually not even too far from where I live now. It's kind of crazy to think about it. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. Shit. What was I gonna say? So I was on my way to catch the bus, right? And I had to walk. It was like a 5-10 minute walk, approximately. And so I had the lighter, I had the cigarette butt, and I was like, oh, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna try and light this. So I stopped as soon as I stopped crossing the street. Like I had to cross the street to get to the side. Obviously, duh. I don't think I have to explain why I had to cross the street, but I did anyways. You're welcome. Um, that tasted so fucking good. When it comes to me, I'm not the smartest individual, so I thought it was really, really smart of me to just stop, hunch over, and like light it, like that, like a hermit. And my mom, I'm not sure where the hell she was going. I think she's going to work or something. Happened to just see me there, and she drove right fucking like on the opposing side of the street because, going the same direction as me. I was heading north, but I was walking on the left side of the street. Just so you guys can picture, I don't know. And she stopped. She's like, "That better be a cigarette," because she instantly just like, boom, she figured out what I was trying to do. And I was like, for fuck's sake, like, did I really? Like, I didn't say this out loud. I was thinking to myself, like, did I really get caught like this? I've done some other stupid shit, but that's probably one of the stupidest things that I got caught for doing. If you guys want to hear some really stupid things that I did growing up, a couple times police were involved. I will do that as another story time. I've got quite a few stories actually. Now that I think about it. So she's like, "That better be a cigarette." And I was like, "Oh fuck!" I didn't say a damn fucking thing. I got in the car. She's like, "Get the fuck in the car!" And I got in the car, and she drove me to school that day. The whole fucking like 15-minute drive, I did not fucking say a word. My mouth was shut. I was like, through the QA, and I didn't say a damn fucking thing the whole day until I got home. Like obviously I spoke like at school, So I get home and I'm like, "Hey, mom," because we usually got home around the same time. So cool story. Um, so I forgot that I had my fucking Powerade here. Shit. This is like the best fucking. This or the Great Powerade is the best. I don't know if you guys in the States have it. I think Powerade's Canadian. It's essentially Gatorade. You guys probably figured that out. Anyways, so she's like, so how was your day? And I already knew, like, you know when your mom or your parents, they just have that way, it sounds nice, but it sounds like they're going to beat your ass at the exact same time. That's exactly how she said it. She's like, so how was your day? And I was like, oh, it was good. It was good. Like, you know, same fucking as every day, except I got caught smoking, so I'm probably going to lose my life or my home. Or both. Maybe, you know, depends which one comes first. But anyways, um, I'm obviously joking. My mom is never the kind of parent to beat me. Yeah. So, but so anyway, so she's like, oh, you know, so I seen you were smoking this morning. What's that all about? And I was like, wow, she's actually not mad. Like she's mad, but she's not like fucking yelling. My mom yells at me for a lot of shit. That was definitely something I thought she would yell. She did not yell at me. She got mad. She got stern, but she didn't yell. Because at this point, I kind of figured she thought it would kind of be like really hypocritical of her to get mad at me for smoking or trying to smoke or whatever, trying a cigarette, being that she's a smoker. So I kind of figured, like, she knew I'm very open with my mom. I'm very close with my mom. I don't have my dad in my life, unfortunately. That not something I want to talk about, but essentially what happens is, as I grew up, because I didn't have my dad, I had to go with my mom for a lot of different things. You guys can imagine being a guy. Certain things, it's really awkward. But anyways, really close to my mom. That's the whole point of that. So she knew that I had wanted to try smoking in the past, and I think the reason why she didn't yell at me, but she was still mad, is because she was disappointed in the fact that I didn't. I felt that I had to hide it from her. I think is what kind of bothered her the most. Because after that, I was pretty open about, you know, if I wanted a cigarette, I would ask her. Now, I used to roll my own cigarettes as well, whether it be at a friend that used to actually get like tobacco pouches. You can go to like a head shop or a smoke shop or something. But sorry guys, I had to blow my nose. So you go to like, you know, like a smoke shop. You get like, it's, I don't know exactly sure how to explain what it looks like. I'll try to find a picture on Google Images and I'll post it in the description, or I'll put it right about now. It's one of these kind of things that, like, you know what? I was rolling my own cigarettes by hand, which is actually how I learned to roll a joint, believe it or not, is I used to roll my own cigarettes. Or I would break up cigarette butts, and that's probably never something you should do. It tastes like shit to smoke a cigarette that's fresh out of a pack. It tastes 10 times worse to smoke a cigarette made of cigarette butts that have been broken down. Yeah. So that being said, so what was I gonna say? So you got to the point where we were rolling cigarettes, and why am I saying we? I. And yeah, so I'd started smoking like officially like 18. I was buying my own cigarettes and stuff. I'm not gonna say where I got them because that could probably. I'm sure there's a few people on here that know me well enough in this area that may know who it is that I'm going to talk about. So I'm not going to mention anything that could possibly reveal who they are. But I got cigarettes when I was 18. 19 is, I believe, the age you have to be to smoke cigarettes and stuff. Or to buy tobacco products, I should say. And yeah, so keep in mind, like, I was getting my mom's cigarettes since I was like 16. Like, I obviously look a lot older than I am. I'm 23. I look like I'm like 50. Or at least I sound like I'm in my 50s. Until I say something stupid, and then I just sound like I'm 6. But anyways, enough roasting myself. Let me get back to smoking this doob. Got so caught up in talking about myself, I forgot my doob. So, about a couple of years go by. I think I was like, how old was I? 20. When I started really getting into like weed. like 19, 20. I tried it for the first time. Is what I'm basically gonna say. I don't think my mom even knows about this. If you're watching this, Mom, I love you. I'm sorry that I lied to you, but yeah. Um, I don't know. If I ever reach like a million subs, I'll just fucking spill the beans about everything that I've done to my mom, and not to my mom. Like, I'll tell my mom. Is what I'm trying to say. I've never done anything bad to my mom. Just want to say I've done stupid shit. Think she's probably disappointed to me, but not the kind of person to ever lay a hand on my mom. Especially after all she's done for me. Yeah, so a couple years go by, and I started working through an agency. And this guy that I met that works at the agency lives down the street from where I live. I think still lives there. So we're on a break, and I knew he smoked weed, so I asked him. I was like, and literally my words were, "Do you know where I can get grass?" Then what does he say? Go check Canadian Tire, which is essentially like a Home Depot, but it's Canadian Tire. Only not as good as not as good as Home Depot. Anyways, so I was like, oh fuck, this guy didn't understand me. But I wasn't about to go and make a fucking scene and be like, oh no, that's not what I meant. And so I said, okay, thanks. So ate my lunch, got to talking and shit, and whatever. So to get to work, because I was through the agency, we had the option of getting a ride with the rest of the employees that were going to that workplace. And for fuck's sake, god damn it. And so since we lived close to each other, we both got dropped off in the same spot. And once we got dropped off, he's like, "Go, come back to my place in like 5 minutes, or I'll call you, or whatever," right? Because I had his number. And at least I think I did. Anyways, whatever. Long story short, so I ended up going back to his place, and he rolled me 2 spliffs, gave them to me for free, and really nice gesture. Now, if you guys know anything about smoking weed, you guys probably already know something that I didn't think about when I was at that age and at that time. Nobody's gonna give you weed for free if it's good weed. Hands fucking down, unless they're like a really good friend. Mostly people will not give you weed for free. So he gave me this weed, and I didn't feel. I probably spent about $100 in total of the times that I've gotten weed from him. Dime bags and a 20 sack and shit like that. So, hashtag bars, by the way, that rhymed. But okay, I'm starting to lose my shit. There. So. I go, and at the time I had a school in front of where I live. I still live in that same house. So, wow, I've actually been here for a while. I just didn't realize that too. So, I went behind the school, and I smoked both of those fucking joints. And I didn't feel a fucking thing at all. Not even the slightest, like, lightheadedness, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I got pissed. I'm thinking, I am never going to go fucking get weed from this guy again. Month goes by, and I went to go get weed from this guy again. So, I obviously didn't listen to myself. And so that's how I started smoking weed. And, cool story, bro, is probably what you guys are saying. Nobody cares. But it's a question you guys asked me. So, yeah, so whatever. Then, I'd smoke weed every so often, time to time. I hid it from my mom. And I honestly, now that I think about it, it makes me feel really bad. I do have regret because of the fact that I've had to hide that from my mom. She doesn't know how long I've been smoking weed for. She thinks that it started, like, late last year. And I'm not proud of that. That's definitely something that I'm going to change. But, anyways, so, nonetheless, when I started smoking more regularly, like, the last year or whatever, Sorry, that's my stomach. I'm starving. I would buy it online from Ontario Cannabis Store, which is my local provincial government's. Did I really say local? My apologies, guys. I had to move my nose again. But so the OCS or Ontario Cannabis Store is my province's cannabis supplier, like through the government. Now, as you guys can imagine, the weed from them is really bad. Actually, you know what? No. I lied. It's not really bad. It's definitely worse than what you can get at local dispensaries. That being said, I would always recommend going to a dispensary because, typically speaking, you won't have to wait for it to get delivered through what we use here as Canada Post. That's the official postal service through the government. So, anyways, oh shit! Don't start my lighter. So, I tried weed a couple times through them, and I got Blue Dream. I think Blue Dream is the only weed. Actually, no, Blue Dream and Moonbeam. Probably the two, still to this day, my two favorite strains. Two of them. Blue Dream is my first favorite strain. Black Cherry Kush is my second. And right under that is Gorilla Glue 4, then Della Haze, and then Trainwreck. Anyway, so that being said, I've smoked quite a few types of weed. It's crazy once you start smoking weed and you meet new people, how many people smoke weed, because otherwise it typically wouldn't be brought up unless one of the two of you smokes. So yeah, that's now something that I ask people, like, oh, you do smoke weed? Because I do. Now, am I proud to smoke? No, it's definitely not something that I really think is appealing. I would never date a girl. This is something I'm such a hypocrite for. I would never date a girl that smokes cigarettes. If they smoke weed, I guess it's a little bit different. I'm not sure what it is. It sounds so cliche to say it, but there's no the taboo that existed about weed being bad for you, I don't think is still around. I don't think it's a thing anymore. At least not as much. So, let's see if we can get her sparked up again. But, very earthy taste. So, that's definitely the Gorilla Glue. A bit of a floral taste is the Black Cherry Kush that I have mixed with it, because I only had a bit left, so I figured I might as well. Because it's not really enough to roll the whole joint with, even if it's 1 1/4. What was I going to say? So, now when it comes to smoking weed, I have a friend of mine that a couple years ago I found that he smoked weed, and personally speaking, I'm not going to say who he is, because I'm not going to put him on blast like that. I love my friends too much to do something stupid and ridiculous like that. I think personally he has much more important things to worry about than smoking weed. But unfortunately, certain people have to learn on their own, and it sucks. It really sucks, because I've had friends pass away due to like drugs and stuff, or only one of them really. And it really does suck. There we go. So, being that, I've lost friends due to really ridiculous shit, unfortunately. When I see somebody that gets caught up in like smoking weed, to me is still doing drugs. It's a drug. Now, I'm not going to compare it to heroin or anything like a heavy drug, but it's still a drug. The same way you consuming alcohol, I still consider alcohol. I actually consider alcohol a drug. It comes in many different forms, but a drug nonetheless, in my opinion. Or at least a controllable substance that can be abused. And it bothers me when I hear about people that pass away or that get really badly affected by drug use, whether it be them or loved ones that are affected. And it really sucks, you know? So I think when it comes to me smoking weed, I'm not happy about it. It's definitely not something that I'm proud about. Because at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, smoking is still smoking regardless of what you're smoking. And when you put it in like the most vague terms of smoking weed is still smoking a drug, the same way smoking crack is smoking a drug. Not comparable necessarily, other than the fact that you're smoking a drug with both of those. The effects that it has on you, like in terms of like negatively affecting you in your life, crack is obviously much worse. And I don't think you can really compare it to weed. But in the essence of the fact, it's still smoking a drug. So, there it is. When it comes to certain things like, I think growing up, I had a couple friends of mine that I've lost touch with that just they got caught up in the wrong things, and I almost got caught up in hanging out with people that were getting caught up in those things. And when I realized that that's the path that I was going down, I thankfully took some change. I went through some therapy because of some stuff that I was going through on and off throughout my life, and still now, unfortunately, it comes up every so often. Um, it's unfortunate. It's not something that I can really change. It's happened. Past is the past, and you know, only I can really dictate the future. Not completely, but somewhat. For those of you guys who are going to ask, am I religious? That's something that I've been asked on my main YouTube channel when I've done like streams and talked about religion and stuff. I am not super religious, but I'm not an atheist. I do believe there is a God. I was raised Roman Catholic, so I do follow the Roman Catholic faith, but I am very open and accepting to the idea that there may possibly be other gods that are not Christian gods, that are not like, in the Roman Catholic Bible. So when I talk to my mom about stuff like that, or I talk to friends, that's genuinely something that I'm very interested in. I'm very interested to hear about, why people follow a different religion. Like at the end of the day, because I feel like this, it's really stupid and very hypocritical to say there is no other God, and you tell somebody else that you tell someone that follows, let's say, Hinduism. I have a friend that's Hindu, and I'm very close to her. I wish her the absolute best with all of my heart. So when she talks about something religious or whatever, I think personally that's the most interesting thing you can talk about. I'm, and I feel it's, who am I to go and tell her there's only one God? Why are you believing in all these other gods? Because Hindu consists of multiple gods. So that being said, I think it's pretty hypocritical to, not be open. You don't necessarily have to accept it, but to at least be open to the idea that there may possibly be other gods. Being religious and of any religion, I think, is only fair. Which it does kind of go against the Bible, but not in the sense of, one of the sins is to believe, take another God before Christ, and that's not what I'm trying to like do, or that's not what I'm trying to like propose in this idea. But I definitely feel like, what, to be ignorant to the fact that there may possibly be other gods makes you ignorant, I think, in my opinion at least, to your own religion. And it's sad because I look at like for instance Muslims. I think that Muslims and people that are Hindi and stuff are very, very, very naturally knowledgeable people. I'm not sure exactly what it is, Not that I'm saying like Catholics are stupid. There are quite a few of them, but that's besides the point. I'm trying to finish this joint. But I'm starting to take lighter puffs because we're getting pretty close to the end of it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But yeah, when it comes to religion, I don't really want to talk a lot about this because this is something that's very controversial, very much like politics. It's not something that one person can just discuss and let it be. But yeah, I guess I'd probably be the same way if I heard something that I disagreed with. I would only feel compelled to just say my 2 cents, but depending on what it is. What else? In terms of what I do for a living, right now I am kind of in landscaping. When I say kind of, it's because I'm still waiting to be confirmed as to when I'm going to be going to work. So I haven't actually officially started my landscaping job yet. Although I worked this past snow removal season. I just realized my dog is outside. That scared the fuck out of me. My dog literally just ran outside. I knew he's not going to go anywhere. He's a good boy. But it's a cockapoo for any of you guys who are curious. Cocker spaniel and a poodle. But yeah. Hey. Hi. Don't go in the dirt. Yes. But yeah, when it comes to stuff like that, again, I'm gonna do a whole separate story time on like me and just growing up and stuff in this area, because I got a couple like kind of like hood stories, if you will. Not really hood stories, but kind of. Hey, go. Good boy. So that's that. I'm gonna wrap this up because I don't want my dog to go behind my garage. That's the one place that he goes and he's not allowed to. And make something to eat. But if you guys enjoyed this Q&A / story time, let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And it's been a month that I've been on here, so hopefully it's another month to go. And, more and more of you guys enjoy these videos. But until next time, yeah, smoke on.